There's not a pill you can take. There's a few drinks that'll give you short-term confidence. Oh, I promise you, I can recommend some if you need them. But long-term confidence, what's going to form you, shape you, and it's what ultimately is going to be really attractive to partners, is confidence derived from experience. Hello, all you fine people. And even some of you uglies out there. I love you too. Welcome to the Danger Lounge, where all your dreams come true. And every day is a Saturday night. This is another edition of Flirting with Danger, where I'm going to give you some golden nuggets that you can use, some dating wisdom, some attraction wisdom, some seductive magic that you can use, put in your tool belt, and hopefully help get you laid. And who knows, maybe even help you score the love of your life, if that's what you choose to want to do with that information. I'm not here to judge one way or the other. Trust me, I am in no position to judge anybody about anything. But today, the topic of conversation that we're going to toss around the Danger Lounge is experience. If you don't have it, people know it immediately. People that do have experience, which are typically valuable people, know it immediately. Now, there's no way to get experience without getting experience. You have to make mistakes. You have to fuck up. You got to get out there. No other way to get it. You know people who are 50, 60, 70 years old have no experience, and you know it immediately. And therefore, they lack wisdom. There's no way around it. Wisdom is more important than intelligence. Well, you really have to have both, but an intelligent person is generally going to seek wisdom, aren't they? You got a lot of smart, very educated people out there. They go to college for 1,000 years. They come out with all these fancy degrees. Everyone thinks they're wise, but they're not wise. They're educated. They've learned a lot of knowledge that may or may not even be practical. Why are we talking about this? Because in terms of dating, there is no substitute for experience. I can give you all the nuggets of information in the world, but if you don't have any context or you can't apply them to anything because you've never experienced that, it's not going to be as helpful. So how did I even come to these realizations? Well, through experience. Right? It's great. You can read this stuff from a book, but it's not going to mean the same thing. It's not going to have the same impact. You have to get out there and do it. So one of the things I tell you, gentlemen out there, and there's different advice I'm going to give for men and women in terms of experience. A, there is no substitute. You cannot substitute experience. Yes, you can read books. Yes, you can learn from mentors in any facet of life. True, and it's going to be helpful, and you should. But that's one piece of the puzzle. The number one piece of the puzzle, the biggest element in terms of success of anything, is experience. You got to put yourself out there, no matter what. It's like there's an interview with, I always use acting analogies because I love acting, but there's an interview with Robert De Niro, and he was talking about different approaches to acting and philosophies to acting. And one of the things he said was, one of his instructors, because Stella Adler, you've heard, even if you don't know acting that well or studying acting that well, you probably at least heard the name Stella Adler. Okay, an absolute icon in teaching acting, professor of acting, if you will. And there's another, and I always forget his name, but he's equally famous and legendary for his acting. He was in Godfather Part 2. He played Hyman Roth. I can't remember his name offhand. Anyway, also it's the actor's studio, essentially. None of that really matters. I'm just giving you some additional value. Anyway, De Niro said, look, I liked Stella Adler's way of doing things, which is, there's a lot of acting instructors out there want you to get in your own head and have all these different things done, organized in your brain before you go and actually do it. And sometimes just like it's paralysis by analysis. It's all this like mind playing games and addressing this and addressing that, when really what you should be focused on, just getting out there and doing it. Just get out there and do it. I mean, some people learn by doing anyway. I think most people learn by doing at the end of the day. It's the same thing. You got to put yourself out there. And what is that really? That's experience. What are you going to get from that? Experience. What are those lessons? Experience. It could be pleasure. It could be deeply felt emotional pain. Yeah, I know, it sucks, but you're going to learn so much from it. You're going to learn what you like, and you most importantly going to learn what you don't like. And you're going to stay away from those things that didn't work, that caused you pain. Does that make sense? And it's going to teach you. There's no better teacher than going through it. And hey, you know, as Alanis Morissette says, I recommend getting your heart stomped on by anyone at any time. Yes, do that, especially if you're young. Put yourself out there. Get your heart stomped on. That's good, because that's going to learn you. How? It's going to learn you. It's going to learn you, boy. It's going to inform you of what works and what doesn't, and what situations not to put yourself in. And my advice to you as a seasoned veteran, and having going through all this stuff myself, is to make mistakes early and make them often. Not on purpose, but you're going to inevitably make mistakes anyway. Just do the best you can. But really, in order to do that, you got to put yourself out there. You can't be scared of making mistakes. Or if you're a shy person, there's a lot of shy men out there, well, women too, right? And don't be afraid to try. It's okay. What's the worst that can happen? Right? The thing is, if you have confidence in yourself, you have to realize that the other people that you're talking to, most of them are not confident, even if they put on this charade of confidence. And there's no way you're going to have a lot of confidence. You might have a lot of bravado. You might have a lot of overcompensation, but you're not going to have a lot of confidence if you don't have experience. That's where the confidence comes from. If you feel confident, it's because you've done the work. You've read the books. You've gone out on dates or whatever craft you're trying to excel in. That's where it comes from. You've done the work on yourself, right? You've had the heartbreaks. You've had the successes, you've done it all. That's where that confidence stems from. And that's how you get it. There's no way around it. There's not a pill you can take. There's a few drinks that'll give you short-term confidence. Oh, I promise you, I can recommend some if you need them. But long-term confidence, what's going to form you, shape you, and it's what ultimately is going to be really attractive to partners, is confidence derived from experience. And if you have it, it's attractive and people know. And if you don't have it, the people that do have it know that you don't have it. And that's when you get taken advantage of. And look, if you're young, 18 or early 20s or whatever, younger or older, whatever, or you're not experienced, how do you get that experience? Well, put yourself out there like we talked about. And if you don't have a lot of, I've always said this, I mean, to be a great conversationalist, you should have a lot of experiences, right? And be well-read or well-traveled. Well, you need time to do all that, to cultivate that sort of thing. If you don't have it yet, it's not a big deal. This is what you do instead. While you are cultivating these experiences and doing these things and learning and asking a lot of questions and being curious and traveling, all that stuff, you can focus on and have the people that you're around, especially the women that you want to attract, you can have them focused on your goals, your ambitions, what you have in mind, your vision for your life and for yourself. That's attractive. And what you're striving towards. And be genuine about it. Be authentic about it. This is what I'm striving towards. And it's very dynamic. Your vision is very dynamic, very interesting, compelling. And share your passions. Focus on those things, because that's still very attractive. As you're gaining the experience, it's ultimately going to make you more attractive. Finally, this is my recommendation. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you unadulterated truth from my experience. Gentlemen, there's going to be a different advice I get from men and for women. And it's for a very specific reason. Gentlemen, experience is a good thing. It's going to be very attractive. When I say in this context, how do I say this without offending some young men out there that just have not played the game yet? All right. Gentlemen, Let's say you have a naive heart or a very well-intended, big but naive heart that exists out there. Hey, I used to be one of those people. It's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's honorable. It's honorable. You start there, and then you learn, right? You cultivate experience and you learn. Women value men with sexual experience also. It behooves you to be a man that has more sexual experience, that's going to endear yourself to other women. I know it sounds kind of maybe counterintuitive, right? Because men don't typically value that in women in terms of a long-term partner anyway. But women don't want a virgin. Women don't want a guy that's been with 3 women. You know what I mean? And so you're going to attract, and they're going to feel it. Why? Because experience, you feel experience. And so they're going to know how experienced you are from going through it, from talking to you. Your attitude, your confidence is going to come through because you have experience. Now, I'm not suggesting that you got to go out and sleep with every woman you see or try to sleep with all. I'm not saying that. You can. But what I'm suggesting is that it is attractive to women when guys can get the girl, when guys have had experience with other women, because being the woman that other women want is attractive. The more women you have, the more you get. That's just the way it works. And so that's very attractive, and women tend to chase the 20% and then the other 80%, right? And how do you become the 20%? Well, you be the man that a lot of other women want and experience. So you're like, well, how do I get experience? Well, just like the job, right? Right? You're like, well, how do I get this job? They're saying I need experience, but how do I ever get experience if you're not going to give me a chance, an opportunity? Well, it happens eventually. You put yourself out there. You are curious. You put yourself in situations. You show up for the job, number one. You show up. And look, you're going to make mistakes because you don't have a lot of experience. Totally cool. But you have to look at it from the big picture perspective. It's okay. I'm making a few mistakes. I'm learning from it. I'm going to get better and better, because even mistakes, that's some of your most valuable experience, because that's going to teach you what not to do and what works. If that doesn't work, well, by golly, this is probably going to work. That's the old Thomas Edison thing. You know, it took him 10,000 tries to invent the light bulb. And someone asked him, he said, well, what would you have done if it didn't work? I mean, how many more times are you going to learn? Well, I would just have found 10,001 more ways not to invent the light bulb. And eventually that's how he found out how to do it. It's not going to take you 10,000 times, but my whole point is that that's where the learning comes in. I run into these people all the time that teach out of a book. You know, like, let's just say it's dating, for example, or attraction. And what they haven't really learned it from real life. So while they might have memorized all the books on it, which is still good, it's good knowledge, or they might have gone to a bunch of seminars or what have you, how to be attractive and all this stuff, a lot of times you'll find them in a position where if they wanted a long-term relationship, they're single. Because the reason is because they didn't apply any of the knowledge that they learned from those books in real life. They don't even know if that stuff works. It's all theory to them. It's just like the acting analogy I gave you. Sooner or later, you got to get out there and do it. And the real way you know what's practical and what's not, and how you learn all these principles and apply these principles, is getting out there and actually doing it. So the lessons that you learn from the experience are practical, because that's how you learn it to start with. It's getting out there and doing it. Make mistakes. It's okay. And again, if you guys are shy, so what? So what? That other person is shy too, probably, and they are not confident. Look them in the eye. Develop eye contact. Get to the point where you're so comfortable taking the other person in. That's another acting lesson, right? Sit in front of somebody. Actively listen. It's a little uncomfortable if you're not used to doing it. You know, ask great questions. Get to learn somebody. Feel their presence. Don't be afraid to make eye contact. Not in a creepy way, because that, after all, is creepy. But don't be afraid. Don't look down. Look them in the eye. Have a conversation, an adult conversation. You are the man, after all. Now, go behave like the man. It's very attractive. Ladies out there, this is not going to be popular to say to some women for various reasons, but if you're looking for a man that you want to have a relationship with, like you want to be one of those women that ultimately finds a relationship that makes you happy, And I'm not telling you whether that's good or bad. You can do whatever you want. I'm not judging it. If you just want to have a good time, you're never interested in getting married or any of that stuff, well, then this doesn't matter. Do whatever you want to do. But if you ultimately want to have a guy that you're going to attract, a guy that you ultimately want, have somebody that's going to take you seriously as a dating partner, as a commitment partner, experience is not going to be good for dating. Now, I'm not saying life experience isn't going to be good, and learning and cultivating yourself as an individual, on various levels, but it's not attractive to men, most men out there, that want a relationship if you have had a lot of different partners. I know it's not a popular thing to hear. It definitely does not jive with what you're being told out there nowadays. And that's fine. I'm here to bring you truth. You don't have to take it. You don't have to believe it, but you'll find it. Look at your friends who do that. Do they ever stick around with these guys? They're not typically, you'll find they're not very happy. There's a lot of insecurity there for a lot of people. Maybe they have some trauma in their life, whatever. I'm not here to judge them, but you will see that often. And you do not want men that would otherwise find you appealing as a partner, if that's what you're looking for, a long-term partner, if that's what you're looking for. The men who are going to value certain things in you are not going to take you seriously if you've been with a lot of partners. And whether you tell them or not, they're probably going to know it, even if you don't admit that. Just date people that you're serious about. You don't have to put yourself out there. I'm not telling you how to live. I am the last person to tell anybody how to live. You do your thing, whatever suits your fancy. I'm just telling you, if you want a long-term partner, you're going to attract a lot more men if you have not been one of those people that, again, I know it's the opposite of what I just told the guys. But as a woman, you're attracted to men with a little bit of experience. I'm not saying he's going to have slept with 1,000 women, but you're attracted to a man with some experience who knows what he's doing. He knows his way around, not just knows his way around bedroom, but knows his way around a conversation, who knows his way around intellectual and emotional stimulation, who's emotionally intelligent, who knows how to carry himself and conduct himself in a classy way, has great male energy, who can make you feel great about yourself, knows what to say and when to say it and when not to say it. That's so rare, and that's true, and that can only be gained through experience. Men do not find that attractive in long-term mate. Now, again, as I've said in other videos, they'll sleep with you. If that's what you value, they'll sleep with you all day. It's not hard for a woman, even an average woman, to sleep with above average guy. It's not difficult. It's not that appealing to men. That's not anything to brag about to men. They're not going to find that attractive at all. What they are going to find attractive is a woman who respects themselves and knows what she wants in a man, and is not just going to sleep around at guys that she doesn't take seriously, right? She's only had a few partners, maybe, right? And I mean, you'll hear them say, guys want a virgin. Well, yeah, if we could get a virgin, most guys would. And that's the one they would probably wife up because they know they could trust her. There's loyalty there. She has self-respect. These are things that are very appealing to guys. And if you thought about how a guy thinks and what a guy does, we can talk about that in another video. It's very understandable. It's very natural. There's nothing wrong with it. Just like, look, ladies, you probably don't find guys who are 5'5" as attractive as a guy who was 6'5", right? Well, we don't get mad at you for that. All I'm saying is that we understand what your preferences are and why biologically you might have them. Well, we have our own preferences too, and we can't help it. It's innate. It's in our DNA. We're attracted to what we're attracted to. What are you going to do? Right? We don't particularly love the fact that you're not attracted to certain things and you need certain things, and you have to have all these checklists in order for you to be attracted to us. That's difficult, but that's why it's so important that guys have experience. Otherwise, as a man, you're never going to check those boxes off. You wouldn't be able to check off as much of them as you can so that you can attract as many women as you can to figure out which one is best for you. If you don't have a lot of options, well, you're going to default to somebody that may not be your best fit. But if you're a man of experience, even a man who may not be that physically attractive, if you're a man of experience, you know what to do, you know how to carry yourself, and you know how to communicate, you're going to have plenty of suitors, plenty. And you can choose from those who fits into what category, just like women do. Women have that option to do that. They can pick the best suitors for them. But if they're going out and sleeping with all those men, there's not a lot of guys that are of high value that are going to want to put them in that long-term category. They'll put them in other categories. But if they find themselves getting ghosted or find the guy that's never commits to them, that's because they're concerned. There's a concern there. And you have to overcome that concern if you're a woman who wants that. But that's a different video. All right. Until next time, guys. Hopefully that was valuable. Remember to smash the like button and send this via carrier pigeon to one of your friends that needs to hear it. And remember, if you need counsel, some guidance, I am starting to take on individual clients for dating coaching, attraction coaching. We're also, I partnered with a therapist friend of mine, and we're doing, this is awesome, in my opinion, this is awesome, a dating workshop. It's really a dating and attraction workshop. It's not just dating, it's about attraction. And, you know, right now we're doing the fundamentals. What do you need to know before you go out in the dating world? What do you absolutely need to do? These are the things you need to know before you even think about going out in the dating world. Don't even worry about shooting a half-court jump shot or a 360 layup behind the backboard if you don't have the fundamentals first. These are the fundamentals. If you don't have the fundamentals, you're always going to have a ceiling. You don't want a ceiling. You want to be able to do all the great things. And this is going to teach you the skills, communication and otherwise. Flirting skills, you got to have that. A specific form of communication. We're going to teach you these tools to make you a better communicator, a better dater, be more attractive to whoever you're trying to attract, and just learn general principles about dating, attraction, and the sexes, and make you a more effective in real life in terms of attracting what you want. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So it's called a therapist. Actually, no, it's called a playboy and a therapist walk into a bar. I didn't call myself Playboy. She came up with the name. Maybe she sees me as a Playboy, and that's totally fine, allegedly. All right, but a Playboy and a therapist walk into a bar, and we're going to discuss social dynamics, dating, attraction, and I think it'll be a good time. So if you're interested in that, again, you can always, leave a message here, and you can contact the IG page, DOLCE_VITA_. I'll just leave it here. Okay, I'll put it here. You can DM me there or a host of other ways. Also, you can reach me with this email address and reach out. We're going to put one out on April 29th is going to be the date. If you're in the Baltimore area, that's where we're going to be having. If you're not in the Baltimore area, eventually we're going to put this up online so you can see it and participate. But again, we are doing individual coaching as well. So if you want to do more of like the customized thing, and you have questions about dating, you need help with a certain woman or a certain guy, how to get the girl, how to get the guy, whatever the case may be, I might just be your man. All right, until next time, guys, be safe, but not too safe. Live dangerously.